So after last issue's gun reveal, and I still trying to figure out how that was even humanly possible, I still don't get it. When on earth... Okay, the Jedi clearly can develop guns, even though the movies contradict that statement, the prequels at least, where it's shown that they don't want guns. They don't like projectile weaponry because stupidity, I think. Okay, maybe you can make the argument that once upon a time they did have guns and then they just, for some reason, just stopped. But even then, I'm like, so, wait. Yeah, and I was coming up with multiple theories on what the hell, where that gun came from. Like, was it a prototype? Did a Jedi turn dark and they made a weapon out of it? And then the Jedi stopped him or her and took the weapon and locked it away? But if so, Jocasta Nu doesn't seem to be surprised that there's a gun like that, unless she was already aware of it, which is a possibility because she's been the keeper of the library for a long time. But it's just... I'm just wondering why. I'm wondering why they put a gun in. Like, considering what happens in this chapter, you really don't need the gun. Like, it doesn't give her a fighting chance. In fact, we knew she was a dead woman walking the moment she found out who Vader was. So, yeah, Jocasta Nu, she gets some shots in, fails miserably, and it turns out that the weapon that gun uses... And here's the thing, when I said about the whole Jedi gun thing, and probably a Rogue Jedi made it, that wouldn't work because it has the Jedi insignia on it, the logo. So, clearly this is Jedi designed. This was completely by the Jedi Order. They just, for some reason, thought, no, let's not ever use it. And let's not use it, like, say, in an attack on our temple by the clone troopers in an event of Order 66, or when, you know, Vader's coming in and killing everybody in his path. So, yeah. Turns out that the gun actually melts the lightsaber. It melts the lightsaber. Okay, I at least now know why they don't use the gun to an extent. But I'm still trying to process, wait, if she can't use the gun because... I don't know. Yeah, I still don't get that. Like, how is this gun able to... Here's the thing. I was looking at this, at the panels of the comic, and... Yeah. She tries to fire the gun again, and then it's revealed that the lightsaber can actually melt. Yeah, I'm trying to wonder that, it shows this lightsaber popping out of the rifle, and it's all melting and whatnot, so, like, can it destroy the crystal? In fact, she doesn't seem completely surprised, probably because of that Jedi training to be an emotionless idiot, but, yeah, I must stress, she could have prevented what would happen if she had just not get overly emotional over books. And I'm still trying to process that part. She could just have left the temple. The Grand Inquisitor would have been none the wiser. Vader would not have been alerted. She could have found a way to escape, got off world, and basically we leave it at that. But no, we gotta go ahead and play the stupid card for her because, I don't know, the Jedi have to be portrayed as stupid because logical consistency makes no sense. But moving on from that, yeah, as you can tell, I'm still pissed off at that. So Vader tries to assure her, you will not be harmed, even though you really will most likely die here since you now know the truth, but you will not be harmed. Like, he's trying to play negotiator and whatnot. You know, I was honestly suspecting that Jocasta Nu would at least say, Sith don't negotiate. Except that would also have been a lie because Okay, yeah, that's hard to really back up. Like, the sacking of Coruscant in the old Legends canon, in the old Lucas canon, was part of the whole Treaty of Coruscant plan. So, negotiation was mostly negotiation with aggressiveness. But, yeah, Jocasta Nu tries to escape, but this time she has to run into the clones. And sure enough, they start opening firing on her because they're programmed to kill Jedi. After a fiery explosion happens, following, yeah, apparently... Okay, here's the thing. Jocasta Nu throws the gun at Vader. Vader catches it, but apparently it comes with an explosion okay, and apparently has enough power to blow a huge chunk of a wall out of the Jedi Temple. And I'm like, wait, it can do that? So why the fuck didn't they just use that during the battle? It makes more pointlessness. And also, she somehow was able to quickly get access to another lightsaber, so yeah, that's gotta be lucky for her. So, clones see her, they start firing on her, she deflects them, trying to be a badass, even though she really won't be. She's more stupid because all this could have been prevented if she did not get overly offended by someone throwing books in a time like this. So, clones are firing their red blasters instead of their blue blasters. And sure enough, they see Vader and they start shooting at him. And then Commander Fox, yeah, the clone who's in charge of all these red clone troopers, yeah, it's Commander Fox from the Clone Wars series. Yeah, they start shooting on Vader, and yeah, and then when he realizes who the other guy's getting shot at, he says this: "How about now? About the other? Oh no!" Which he would have said like, "Oh shit, I am so royally fucked." Because that's the best way to describe what was going to happen next. He orders the clones to stop. Vader boards and he gets pissed off, obviously. Though, here's the thing. He has this. Commander, why did you not provide your troopers with my description? I didn't expect anything like this to happen, sir. I just didn't think. And Vader snaps his neck. So Commander Fox is dead. Way to go. Could have been an interesting antagonist if they wanted to do that in Star Wars Rebels, but that's a different matter. But yeah, Commander Fox is dead. And I'm just wondering, wait, weren't you outside the temple when all this was going on? Did you have the entire clone army surround the temple and only a part of it got to see you? Like, they had to have... Or they're just dumb. You could just do that. Like, I'm still trying to wonder that. Like, wasn't in the last chapter showing clone troopers with Vader, Commander Fox was talking to him, they all saw Vader, they were all prepared for battle for this Jedi escapee, and wouldn't that have made more sense that maybe like Commander Fox contacts, like they could have done this. Okay, Vader goes ahead, he orders Commander Fox to get a squadron of shock guards, and however he neglects to do that stuff and we all get where we are. But yeah, and then following Vader's killing of a fellow clone, may he rest in peace, they managed to... She yells out, "Every one of you is a traitor," and the clone says, "Other way around, Jedi." And I was like, Jocasta, I know you're out of the loop here since you're not on the count. Oh yeah, that's right, you're not on the council. Never mind, you may continue believing that. But the clones saying that, okay, I gotta keep asking this. I need to ask this question regarding the chip. So, if what the chip indicates, just from this episode, from this comic, from what the episodes implied, that the chip can neurologically basically erase a person's conscience and just say, obey Palpatine, obey the Chancellor. Is that how the chip works? I'm trying to remember. Like, it erases their memory or blocks out their conscience and morality or something like that. So, even after the chip was implemented, it's still apparently active to serve Palpatine. That leads to a huge... And I'll get to that in a second. But after Vader orders them to no longer fire, the Jedi must be kept alive. And the clones say, yes sir, roger that. And I was like, wait, so they could actually just not do it? So I'm confused now. And Jocasta Nu speaks what Chirin Imwe says later on in the next 20 years. I am one with the Force. The Force is with me. As she falls to her death, except it's Vader. Did you not think this part through, Jocasta? And sure enough, she screams out, no! When Pawn realizing that a Force wielder got her by the Force. And when Vader clenched his fist saying, bring her aboard, I was thinking to myself, oh, imagine how funny that would be if he accidentally crushed her heart right now. Yeah, I would be saying this is a bad situation, but considering Jocasta Nu could have prevented all of this by not reacting to books being thrown, like if she was seeing some innocent life in danger, I could get that because it's in her Jedi roots to protect the weak. I think the Jedi are very hypocritical, but moving on from that part, couldn't they... She could have prevented all this capturing. So yeah, I have no sympathies for her. So the clone troopers searched her, and then it's revealed that she has a memory crystal. Vader looks through this memory crystal, which is the list of children in the foreign language that no man could translate. I can at least, unless I read up the descriptions and spell it all out. So I let the internet did that for me, because I am completely lazy on that. Yes. So, luckily, someone did translate it. However, it's just a bunch of Easter egg references to the two creators and whatnot than really anything else. So, but there is an interesting thing on here. They mention one planet that is really interesting. Cathar. You know, from Legends, the feline race of cat people. They're canon now. Well, we don't see the species yet, but it's very obvious they're going to bring in the Cathar people later down the road. So clearly, they're going to be canon again. Congratulations, Disney! You have robbed yet another thing from Legends to indicate Legends is superior to canon, to Disney World's viewpoint on what canon is. You have done well. So he looks at this list, realizes what the hell is going on, realizing that these are recent birth dates of the children. Okay. Of course, Jocasta Nu has to blatantly point out the freaking obvious of what Palpatine... Okay, here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing she said. Jocasta Nu tells him. She says this. The Chancellor, because he was Chancellor, he knew that they kept the list. And knew the Seekers would have entrusted it to her. No. Couldn't you just have used Chancellor Palpatine remembering the whole Cad Bane thing from the Clone Wars? Wouldn't that... And he would know that they have the list and they always update it? Couldn't he have just done that? Instead of saying that the guy who's not in the Jedi Order... I mean, like, he didn't really get actively within the Jedi Order politics until, like, during Episode 3, I believe. Or at least before Episode 3. So, like, yeah, so I was still confused by that. And then she reveals that Vader is nothing more than a pawn. Because Vader's crippled, Jocasta Nu explains that Palpatine wants to make more of Vader, and asks Vader this question: "What do you want?" And here's the line that makes me say, "Oh dear God." "Do you want me to stun her, sir?" the clone trooper says. "I'd be more than happy to. Stop those Jedi lies." Okay, so let's see if I get this straight. The clones, clearly, even after the chip has been activated and used and fulfilled its purpose, they are still willing to follow. So, couldn't you have just... So, does that make Palpatine more of a dumbass if you really think about it? And you probably should. That, I don't know. It's hard to really say this. How do I put this delicately? Why get rid of them in the first place? Like, he fires them all a year later, or at least goes through the process of firing them. He stops the cloning project in Kamino. Like, they're clearly following orders. So why not just keep them? So, yeah. Jocasta Nu then says this: "Jedi, you idiot. You don't even know who you're supposed to hate. You're taking orders from a Jedi. This man is Anakin Skywalker, a Jedi Knight." And sure enough, the clones look at Vader, and obviously after a brief few minutes of tension and wondering what the clones are the hell going to do, Vader kills them all by throwing them off the ship with the Force. And they all fall to their deaths. And Vader says, "That was your doing." And she says, "They chose their own paths." Yeah. And as she asks Vader what is he going to do now, he kills her. Violently. He contacts Palpatine, and Vader reports that Jocasta Nu tried to escape custody and perished in the attempt. And then this is what happens that it makes it a little interesting. And I was like, oh my god, are we getting a human out of him? Palpatine asks Vader to return, saying this: "Return to me, my apprentice. I would hear the story of the witch's end. But first, tell me, did you learn anything from Jocasta before her death?" Vader looks at the memory crystal of the children who Palpatine wants to recruit into his evil empire and destroys it. And Vader just says, "Nothing." Oh my god, he's gone human on us! He just saved God knows how many children were on that list. Though that does lead to the question, I'll get to that in the end. But after that, we go forward through time and see Gar, yeah, that's his name still, noticeably looking older, and then he just stays at the place for a while, for some time, and ultimately realizing that he can no longer protect the library and fears for the dangers, he decides to alternately commit suicide and cave in the location to keep the knowledge a secret. However, over through this scene of him basically going through a despair process, Jocasta Nu's final wording is in: "The Force is eternal. It cannot be ended. It cannot be stopped. Not so long as life exists. It will find its vessels. It always does. It already has. You know this. There are others waiting out in the galaxy. When the time is right, the Jedi will rise again." And all throughout this, the cave-in happens after after Gar kills himself to cave in the archive. Time moves on, and sure enough, someone opens the cave. 20 years later. That's right. Luke Skywalker's here! So, this raises several questions for me. How the fuck did Luke find it? No, seriously. How did Luke find this place? Like, I could probably buy how Luke found the Emperor Palpatine's secret sanctuaries that contain relics of the Jedi and the Sith, but because probably he had data centers somewhere that stored information that he had and kept it private from everybody, So Luke discovered this, found these informations, and then went out to find them. But how did he find this place if it's never been touched for the next 20 years? That's just confusing me. Like, seriously confusing me. But, okay, so, well, I will give credit that this chapter at least gives me clarity that there might be a humanized Vader still in the Star Wars canon of Disney, where even though Vader is fully committed to the dark side, a little bit of Anakin's still in him, and it doesn't like burst out at the end of Return of the Jedi. We see snippets of it. And destroying the list not only shows the signs that already the fracturing between Palpatine and Vader is going to crack soon, especially when Vader discovers who Luke actually is. Yeah. But, yeah. I did love when Vader just destroys the list. Like, there are several theories as to why that, but why is that? Vader does not want to have a huge civil war basically breaking out, trying to take over Palpatine's position in case of the event Palpatine dies with other trained apprentices. And also, I was wondering, wait, maybe there's a part of Anakin coming out getting subtle implants of the light side telling him to destroy it because those are children. Once upon a time, which was literally like, I don't know, at best several months ago, if the timeline's right, I don't get it still, suggests that he was going to have children. He believes he lost his. Can he really bring himself to take others? Though this really raises a question and causes a contradiction. Gasp. If Vader destroyed the list, and every archive in the Jedi Temple is destroyed, and the small Jocasa New School for Jedi has been sealed away, never touched until Luke gets there, then what the hell happened in Season 2 of Rebels when the Inquisitors had kidnapped babies that were Force sensitive? Did they think that part through? I'm like, yeah, granted we saw Ahsoka kick ass, but yeah, what would be ultimately the point of that episode then, even more so? I'm like, at least it's not the space whales. I seriously hate that still. Anyways. Yeah, I'm just curious as to know about what this intends to bring in terms of, did they find a new list? Did they go ahead and discuss? Did they find it? Did they make another list? Was there a backup place of Jedi teachings that had archives of Force-sensitive children, and there were some holdout areas? Or did the Inquisitors just sense it and believe that Palpatine would appreciate them and get more favor from him? Like, that's the only way I could see that. So, yeah, it's very curious for me on this. I'm just wondering. And next chapter it says that apparently someone has stupidly put a bounty on Darth Vader. Oh gee, I wonder how this is gonna go. I wonder who's trying to challenge Vader. Like, there's so many characters. Like, maybe the Inquisitors probably did it. Probably this will be the chapter we will learn what the hell happened that makes the Grand Inquisitor commit suicide. Will this be the moment? So, yeah. It's going to be interesting. I really hope we get some things going. Jocasta Nu's dead. That was to be given. But, yeah, it's going to be coming out on February 14th. The reason why I didn't make the video about issue number 10 of Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith sometime after it came, like a day or so after it had been released, was because I was still doing all those wrestling videos of their 2017 retrospective. Luckily, that's over with, so... And I need a few days to recuperate my voice from making 12, 13-hour videos. Also, the idea of Luke looking for all these stuff, the old could this new school of Jedi location, since people like to make jokes about that, was those used to help build the foundation for that failed Jedi Order Luke would attempt to make until Ben Solo burned it to the ground because Luke was an idiot? And by extension, Yoda being a bigger idiot since he taught Luke these hypocritical statements, and Jocasta Nu now contributes to this problem. Yeah. So, yeah. Also, I would love to see a movie of Luke Skywalker finding all these stuff and going on big missions. Probably finding some holdout of Inquisitors, trying to protect the secrets of the Emperor and take all the knowledge that the Sith hold, and including finding Jedi holocrons and seeing if they can make black market sales out of it, since, well, there's no Empire, they got nothing to lose at this point. They might as well get money and sail off to a faraway place, never to be seen again. And also, with the destruction of the list, does that mean this is more like smashing fans' hope to see Mara Jade? Though, of course, we don't even know who Mara Jade's parents were in Legend, so that still wouldn't work. Yeah. Though, I am wondering, is Quinlan Vos going to show up? Because I want him to fight Vader. I want to see that fight. But we'll probably wait for that. That might happen later. That might serve as a finale for the comic series. But I'm just going to end it here. Also, I've been hearing Sebastian Stan, the guy who plays Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, wants to play Luke, and people use Photoshop to see if he can resemble Luke. He actually kind of does. So at least we have a Luke doppelganger to play his role. I don't know if Disney will do a younger Luke with Sebastian Stan being the guy, but one can hope. So those were my thoughts on Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, chapter number 10 of God knows how many comics they're going to make out of this, of the Star Wars new Disney canon. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more.